Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Electrical Machines 1 subject. This is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triple Department. Let us look at the contents of today's class. I'll be telling you about the torque equation of DC motor, a numerical on torque equation of DC motor, what are the various types of torque, then types of DC motor characteristics, and numerical on types of DC motor. Earlier in the previous classes, I said about the characteristics of only speed torque characteristics as which is stated in the syllabus. So, but today's class I will be telling the characteristics of all types of DC motors. Types of DC motor also we have discussed previously, but there we have not seen in detail the equation for voltage, current and power. So that we are going to cover it in today's class. So let us start the class. So what is a DC motor? DC motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, and operating principle is that whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field, it experiences a mechanical force. So all these things we have seen in the previous classes. Fleming's right hand rule, left hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule to find out the direction of voltage in generator. Fleming's left hand rule to find out the direction of force in case of DC motor. Okay. So all these things briefly we have seen in the previous lectures. Please go through them. So let us start today's topic. What is the torque equation of a DC motor? What is torque? Torque is nothing but the turning or twisting force about an axis is called as torque. Or one more definition of torque is that force into radius at which the force acts is called as torque. Okay. So what is happening in case of a DC motor? So from the as we are telling the statement that whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field, it experiences a mechanical force. Okay, so all these forces collectively together will make the motor to run. Okay, that is called as with torque it is moving, because torque is getting exerted on the motor, then it is getting moved or motor is running. Okay. Now we have to derive the torque equation of a DC motor. Let us consider a wheel of radius r meters which is acted upon by a circumferential force F newtons. Okay, this is a wheel. We are telling that it is rotating with some speed, and force on this is F newtons, and the radius of the wheel is r meters. So wheel is rotating at a speed of n rpm, revolutions per minute. Then angular speed of the wheel is given as omega is 2 pi n by 60 radians per second. Okay, if you are taking per second, divide this 2 pi n by 60. So omega is 2 pi n by 60. So work done in one revolution is given as force into distance traveled in one revolution. So distance traveled in one revolution is 2 pi r. So now work done will be equal to force into 2 pi r joules. What is power? Power is nothing but work done by time. So work done is calculated as F into 2 pi r divided by time for one revolution, that is 60 by n. So what I am doing here, F into r at one place, then 2 pi n by 60 at one place. F into r is nothing but torque. Okay, as I said you earlier, torque is nothing but force into radius at which the force acts. So now the power developed will be equal to torque into 2 pi n by 60 is omega, angular speed of the wheel. So power is equal to, now power developed is equal to torque into omega, that is torque into angular speed of the wheel. So T is nothing but torque in Newton meter, and omega is the angular speed in radians per second. Now let us consider that TA is the gross torque developed by the armature of the motor. So that TA can also be called as armature torque, and gross mechanical power developed in armature will be EBIA, which we have seen in previous classes power equation. Okay, because the voltage equation for a DC motor we are consider a shunt case, then V is equal to EB plus IARA, and when we are dividing this voltage equation by IA, we are getting the power equation. So EBIA is the power developed in the armature. So power developed in armature can be written as armature torque into omega. Now power in armature is EBIA. Armature torque is represented by TA. Omega is represented by 2 pi n by 60. But EB is nothing but back EMF. Its value is same as the EMF generated in a generator, that is P5ZN by 60A. Substitute that value of EB in this above equation. So P5ZN by 60A into IA equal to TA into 2 pi n by 60. So we are going to get torque equation as 1 by 2 pi phi IA PZ by A. 1 by 2 pi value is 0.159 phi IA PZ by A. So this is nothing but the torque equation of a DC motor expressed in Newton meter. Now here I have written one more equation for torque. So this is useful in solving numericals where if we are given values of EB and IA at that time, how to find out the armature torque. Now from this equation, torque can be written as EBIA by 2 pi n by 60, or this can be written as 60 divided by 2 pi into EBIA by n. 60 divided by 2 pi value is 9.55 and remaining is EBIA by n. So this is one more equation for torque. Okay. When this can be used helpful in solving the numericals. So students, is this clear? Torque equation is clear to everyone? Let us see one new small numerical on torque equation of DC motor. A 4-pole DC motor takes a 50 amps armature current. Armature has lap connected 480 conductors. Flux per pole is 20 milliweber. Calculate the gross torque developed by the armature of the motor. So first of all, write the given data. Given P is equal to 4, and as this is a lap connected winding, for lap connection, number of parallel paths is equal to number of poles, and that is given as 4. Number of conductors, that is Z, is given as 480. Flux per pole is given as 20 milliweber. Milli is 10 power minus 3. So 20 into 10 power minus 3 webers. IA is the armature current, that is equal to 50 amps. Now write the torque equation 0.159 into 5 IA PZ by A. Substitute all the values given in the numerical, that is 5 values given as 20 into 10 power minus 3, IA is 50 amps, P is 4, Z is 480, divided by A is 4. 76.394 Newton meter is the answer. Types of torque in a DC motor. So how many types of torque are there in the DC motor? Armature torque is there, shaft torque is there, lost torque is there. Okay. So torque developed in the armature and hence gross torque produced is denoted as TA. While transmitting power from armature to load through shaft, there is a power loss due to friction, windage and iron losses. Okay. So some amount of power is getting lost because of the friction losses, windage losses and iron losses. Torque required to overcome these losses is called as lost torque, which is denoted as TF. The torque which is available at the shaft for doing useful work is called as load torque or shaft torque, which is denoted as TSH. Now this armature torque is addition of lost torque and shaft torque, and always this shaft torque is less than armature torque, of course, because some amount of torque is getting lost in between. Okay. So the torque which is developed in the armature is called as gross torque, that is denoted as TA, and while transmitting power from armature to load through shaft, there will be some power loss due to iron losses, friction and windage losses, and torque required to overcome these losses is called as lost torque, which is denoted by TF. And the final torque which is available at the shaft for doing useful work is called as shaft torque or load torque, which is denoted as TSH. Armature torque is an addition of lost torque and shaft torque. Shaft torque is always less than armature torque. Types of DC motors. Similar to DC generators, DC motors are classified depending upon the way of connecting the field winding with the armature winding. Different types of DC motors are shunt, series, compound. Compound motors are further classified as short shunt and long shunt. Another classification is cumulative compound and differentially compound. Okay. So let us see now DC shunt motor. All of you make a note of all these diagrams and equations. Take out a book and write the draw the diagram and write the equations. Very, very important. Problems are also very important on these types of motors and types of generators also. So this is a motor. Okay. Supply voltage is given to the motor. This is a field winding connected in parallel with the armature winding. IL is the line current. It is getting divided into ISH and IA. ISH is the shunt current. Current in the shunt field winding. IA is the armature current. So field winding will be connected across the armature winding and combination will be connected across the supply. And let RSH is the resistance of shunt field winding and RA is the resistance of armature winding. So voltage current relationship now we are going to derive. Voltage across armature and field winding is equal to supply voltage. Total current drawn from the supply is denoted as line current IL. See, in case of generators, IL was load current. In case of motors, IL is line current. Okay, supply voltage we are giving, so line current will be flowing in the circuit, and that line current is divided into ISH and IA. So IL will be equal to IA plus ISH, and ISH is V by RSH. So whether you take shunt generator or shunt motor, always whenever shunt winding is present, shunt current will be equal to voltage by resistance, V by RSH. Now, voltage equation for a shunt motor is V is equal to EB plus IARA plus V brush. V brush is generally neglected. It is a brush contact drop. It is very small and usually it is neglected. So, flux produced by field winding is proportional to current flowing through it. That is, ISH is always proportional to the flux. Okay, flux produced by field winding is all proportional to current passing through it. Phi is proportional to ISH. So I have put it in a box so that this is a very important point. So always the current flowing through the shunt field winding is proportional to the flux. Okay. So as long as supply voltage is constant, which is generally in practice, so flux produced by is also constant. So DC shunt motor is called as a constant flux motor. DC series motor. So here field winding is connected in series with the armature winding. IL is supply, we are applying the voltage. So IL is the line current, ISC is the current in series winding, IA is the armature current. So in this type of motor, series field winding will be connected in series with armature and supply will be given. RA is the resistance of armature winding, RSC is the resistance of series field winding. And value of RSC is very small and it is made up of small number of turns having large cross-sectional area. So this discussion already we have done when I was taking the types of DC generators. Refer to that video. Okay, why the number of turns of series are less and why the number of turns of shunt are more. Refer to that video. Now let us see the voltage and current relationship. Let IL is the total current drawn from the supply. Now that all currents are in series, so we can write the equation as IL is equal to ISC is equal to IA because all three currents are in line, same line. And now voltage equation will be equal to V is equal to EB plus IARA plus ISC RSC plus V brush. Now IA I can take common because current is same here. So IA I am taking common. V is equal to EB plus IA into RA plus RAC plus V brush. Now supply voltage has to overcome the drop across series field winding in addition to EB and drop across armature winding. So in series motor, entire armature current is passing through series field winding. So flux produced is proportional to the armature current. That is, I have written this in box. For a series motor, phi is proportional to ISC or phi is proportional to IA we can say. Compound motor. Compound motor consists of part of field winding connected in series and part of field winding connected in parallel with the armature. So it is further divided into long shunt and short shunt. So long shunt is the one where the shunt field winding is connected across the combination of armature and series field winding. So here long shunt, what I am telling here, field winding is in parallel with both the series field winding and the armature winding. RSC is the resistance of series field winding. RSH is the resistance of shunt field winding. Now see the diagram and we can write the equation. IL will be equal to ISC plus ISH and also ISC is equal to IA because see you can see the diagram, both are in same line, they are in series. So ISC is equal to IA and IL is equal to ISC plus ISH and ISH is V by RSH. So whenever shunt is there and current flowing through the shunt should be equal to V by RSH. Now we will write the equation for voltage. V is equal to EB plus IARA plus ISC RSC plus V brush. ISC is equal to IA. So we can take this as V is equal to EB plus IA common, RA plus RSC plus V brush. Short shunt. Short shunt, what is happening here? The shunt field winding is parallel with only the armature winding. And series field winding will be connected in series with the combination of these two. Now here IL is equal to ISC. If you see the circuit diagram, we can write the equation for IL is equal to ISC. Entire line current is passing through series field winding and IL is equal to IA plus ISH. So drop across shunt field winding is calculated from the equation V is equal to EB plus ISC RAC plus IARA plus V brush. Now ISC is equal to IL. So I am writing in place of ISC IL. So drop across shunt field winding is V minus IL RSC. That is V minus IL RSC. From this equation we can write as EB plus IARA plus V brush. ISH is V minus IL RSC by RSH. But V minus IL RSC is EB plus IARA plus V brush. So divided by RSH will give us the value of ISH. Torque and speed equations we are finding out to understand the characteristics of DC motors more clearly. So from torque equation we can write torque is proportional to phi into Ia, because other parts of equation, that is 0.159 pz by A, are constant for a given motor. Phi is the flux produced by the field winding and it is proportional to the current passing through the field winding. Phi is proportional to I field, but for various types of motors current through the field winding is different and accordingly torque equation must be modified. For a DC shunt motor, ISH is constant as long as the supply voltage is constant. So flux is also constant. So for shunt motors, torque is proportional to Ia, and for series motor, torque is proportional to phi into Ia, or we can say that phi is proportional to Ia, so torque is proportional to Ia square. So remember these two equations. Torque is proportional to Ia for shunt motors, torque is proportional to Ia square for series motors. EB is P5ZN by 60A. We can write the speed equation as EB is proportional to phi N or N is proportional to EB by phi. So yeah, we can write here N is proportional to EB by phi, and from this equation of voltage V equal to EB plus IARA, neglecting brush drop, we can write EB is equal to V minus IARA, and speed equation will become speed is proportional to V minus IARA by phi. So for shunt motor, flux is constant, so speed is proportional to V minus IARA, and for series motor, flux is proportional to Ia, so speed is proportional to V minus IARA minus IARC by Ia. So all this, the speed and torque relationships we have derived so that we can plot the characteristics of DC motors. So let us start the topic of DC motor characteristics. Performance of a DC motor under various conditions can be judged by following three types of characteristics. So previous class, as according to syllabus, I said only speed torque characteristics. So now we will be seeing other two also. So let us see the first one, torque versus armature current characteristics. Second is speed versus armature current characteristics. Third is speed versus torque characteristics. So what is torque armature current characteristics? Graph showing the relationship between torque and the armature current is called as torque armature current characteristics. These are also called as electrical characteristics. What is speed armature current characteristics? Graph showing the relationship between speed and armature current is called as speed versus armature current characteristics. Speed torque. Graph showing relationship between speed and torque of the motors is called speed torque characteristics, and these are also called as mechanical characteristics. Let us see for DC shunt motor. First one, torque versus armature current characteristics. So we have derived the equation for torque of a DC motor, that is torque is proportional to phi Ia, and also we have seen that phi is constant in case of shunt motor, so torque is proportional to Ia. Torque proportional to Ia, it is a straight line passing through origin, and Ia on x-axis, torque on y-axis. This is the armature torque, and dotted line is showing the shaft torque, and in the difference between these two torques is the lost torque. So the equation torque proportional to Ia is representing a straight line passing through origin. Torque increases linearly with armature current, and as load increases, armature current increases, and the torque developed also increases linearly. And if the shaft torque is plotted against armature current, it is known that shaft torque is less than armature torque, and the difference between the two is the lost torque. On no load, TSH is 0, but armature torque is present, which is just enough to overcome the stray losses. That is TAO. Okay, which is represented by TAO, and corresponding current is represented by IAO. Let us see the speed armature current characteristics. So from speed equation, we know that speed is proportional to V minus IARA by phi. For shunt, phi is constant, so speed is proportional to V minus IARA. So as load increases, armature current increases, and IARA increases. Okay. So for constant supply voltage, V minus IARA decreases and speed will decrease. But RA is very small. For change in IA from no load to full load, drop IARA is very small, and hence drop in speed is also not significant from no load to full load. Characteristics is slightly dropping as we can see in the figure. It is a little bit dropping here. This is a constant speed line. We are plotting a graph between speed on y-axis and armature current on x-axis. So we are getting a drop. Below this constant speed line, our speed is getting dropped. So because practically seeing, it is not a constant speed line, it is little bit dropping. Third is speed torque characteristics. So this is similar to the speed armature current characteristics because torque is proportional to the armature current. So similar to speed versus IA, we are getting the speed torque characteristics, that is constant speed line we have to get, but little bit dropping, practically we are getting it. Now let us see the characteristics of DC series motor. First one, under that, torque armature current characteristics. So torque is proportional to phi Ia and phi is proportional to Ia. So torque is proportional to Ia square. So torque is proportional to Ia square. This is showing a parabolic. This is a parabolic in nature, and we can see in the graph Ia on x-axis, torque on y-axis. This is a torque proportional to Ia square. And as load increases, armature current also increases, and torque produced will increase proportional to the square of the armature current up to a certain limit. Okay, after this point of saturation, torque will be proportional to Ia. So this is called as point of saturation. Up to this point only, torque is proportional to Ia square. So as the entire Ia passes through the series field, there is a property of an electromagnet called as saturation. Saturation means though the current through the winding increases, flux produced will be constant. So after saturation, characteristic takes the shape of a straight line as flux becomes constant. So difference between T and TSH is loss torque, TF. Okay, say similar to what we have seen in first shunt motor. So this is torque proportional to Ia square, point of saturation. After point of saturation, torque is proportional to Ia. So this is the dotted line is showing for shaft torque. And the difference between armature torque and shaft torque is loss torque, TF. Now let us see the speed armature current characteristics. So from speed equation, for speed is proportional to EB by phi, and it is proportional to V minus IARA minus IARSC by IA. Phi is proportional to IA, so in place of phi I am writing IA here. So what we can say, speed is inversely proportional to IA. RA and RSC values are so small that effect of change in current on speed overrides the effect of change in V minus IARA minus IARSC on the speed. So in the speed equation, EB is nearly equal to V, and it is assumed to be constant. So we can write speed is inversely proportional to IA. Speed is inversely proportional to IA means we will get a graph like this. That is speed on y-axis, IA on x-axis. IA increases, speed will decrease. Speed torque characteristics. So from the two equations, that is from torque proportional to Ia square and speed inversely proportional to Ia, we can write speed is inversely proportional to root T. So again we are getting the characteristics of speed torque as speed armature current, that is as torque increases, speed decreases. On no load, torque is very less and hence speed increases to dangerously high value. So the nature of speed torque characteristics is similar to the nature of speed armature current characteristics. So whenever torque increases, load increases and the speed decreases. So all of you note down this point, very important point. Series motor is never started on no load. Okay. In the experiment, also in the laboratory, we have seen that series motor should never be started on no load. Let us see its explanation why it should not be started on no load. Motor armature current is decided by the load. Okay, depending upon the load, armature current, how much the motor should take, it is decided by the load. On light load or no load, armature current drawn by the motor is very small. In DC series motor, flux is proportional to Ia, and on no load, when Ia is very small, so flux is also small. But according to speed equation, speed is inversely proportional to flux. Okay, because at the time EB is almost constant. So on very light load or no load, as flux is very small, motor tries to run at dangerously high speed, which may damage the motor mechanically. So from speed, armature current characteristics and speed torque characteristics, we can see that speed is inversely proportional to flux. Okay, speed will be very high in the starting. So so and so from speed, armature current and speed torque characteristics, we can see that on low armature current and low torque condition, motor shows a tendency to rotate with dangerously high speed. So this is the reason why the DC series motor should never be started on no load, because in the starting at no load or on light loads, flux is very small, or current, armature current is very small, and speed will be very high, because speed is inversely proportional to flux and speed is inversely proportional to armature current. So in the starting, when armature current is less, speed will be very high. That is why series motor should never be started on no load. We have to apply some load and start the DC series motor. Characteristics of DC compound motor. Compound motor characteristics basically depend on the fact whether the motor is cumulative compound or differential compound. So all the characteristics of compound motor are combination of shunt and series characteristics. Cumulative compound motor is capable of developing large amount of torque at low speeds, just like series motor. However, it is not having a disadvantage of series motor even at light load or no load. So that disadvantage is there only in series motor, that is on light load or no load, the speed is dangerously high, whereas this is not there in case of compound motor. Shunt field winding produces definite flux, and series flux helps the shunt field flux to increase the total flux level. So this is the torque versus armature current, speed versus armature current, and speed versus torque characteristics of compound motors. So dots are showing here series, shunt, and this is for cumulative and differential. Okay, again dotted here series, shunt, this is a constant speed line, and this is differential and cumulative. Again here same, shunt, series, differential and cumulative. Let us see numerical on types of DC motor. A 4-pole 250 volt DC series motor has a wave connected armature with 200 conductors. Flux per pole is 25 milliweber. When motor is drawing 60 amps from the supply, armature resistance is 0.15 ohms, while series field resistance is 0.2 ohms. Calculate the speed under this condition. So sometimes series motor diagram is not given, or sometimes it may given. But whatever the case may be, you draw this diagram of whatever type of motor is given. So series motor is given, so draw the diagram of series motor, write the given data. P equal to 4, Z is 200, A is equal to 2, flux is given as 25 milliweber, that is 25 into 10 power minus 3 webers. Armature resistance is 0.15 ohms, series resistance is 0.2 ohms. IL is 60 amps. We now write the voltage equation for series motor. V is equal to EB plus IARA plus IARSC. So substitute all the values, we will get the value of EB. EB is the unknown value here, we are calculating by substituting all the given data. Now we know the another equation for EB is P5Zn by 60A. So in this substitute all the values, then we will get the value of speed as 1374 RPM. Next numerical. A 250 volts DC shunt motor takes a line current of 20 amps. Resistance of shunt field winding is 200 ohms and resistance of armature is 0.3 ohms. Find the armature current and back EMF. So first step is draw the circuit diagram, write the given data, and write the equation for current voltage. Okay, for voltage equation, if you see, it is for shunt motor V equal to EB plus IARA, or EB can be written as V minus IARA. So what are the values given? IA value is not given directly. We have to calculate from the equation. From this equation, that is IL is equal to IA plus ISH. We can write equation for IA as IL minus ISH. IL is given as 20 amps. ISH we are calculating by V by RSH. So 20 minus 1.25 is giving us the value of armature current. Substitute all the values, we will get the value of EB. Next, a 4-pole 460 volt shunt motor has its armature wave connected with 880 conductors. Useful flux per pole is 0.03 webers and armature resistance is 0.8 ohms. If the armature current is 35 amps, calculate speed and torque. So draw the circuit diagram, write the given data. So first one is we have to calculate speed. So how to calculate speed? Speed can be calculated from this equation. EB is equal to P5Zn by 60A. but we don't know here in this equation value of EB. So calculate the value of EB from this equation. V is equal to EB plus IARA. So from this equation calculate EB, substitute all the values in this equation, then we will calculate the speed 490.9 RPM. Second bit we have to calculate torque. So directly the torque equation you write it 0.159 5ZIA into P by A. Substitute all the values, we will get the torque equation value for torque equation as 293.83 Newton meter. Thank you everyone for watching the video. I hope today's class is clear to everyone. Give your attendance in comment section. Watch the video from start till the end. Thank you everyone.